Bill, are you on?
I'm on.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. We have a special meeting agenda to discuss human resource personnel changes. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Yep. Hearing none. First potential action item, and this is within our business items, is Policy 930. Expenditures, request for the transfer of a limit increase solid waste. JP, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Phillips for the record. The Solid Waste Department regularly has ongoing large-scale operational expenses and therefore requests a transaction limit increase of up to $20,000 per transaction for B budget operational expenses, as opposed to the $10,000 limit that has been adopted within Expenditures Policy 930. Specifically, the Solid Waste Department has had 17 total transactions within the last year that fell into the greater than $10,000 category. Recently adopted changes will impact the department in the following way. The Solid Waste Department will need to come to the board an estimated 10 to 15 additional times each year to ask for items greater than $10,000. Items, just for example, could include things like landfill cover material, plastic sheeting, landfill gas piping, etc. Please authorize via BOCC signed contractual agreement as stipulated within the Expenditures Policy 930 that the Solid Waste Department could spend up to $20,000 per transaction for B budget operational items without the need for additional consent from the board as currently specified within the policy.
JP, when you mentioned the 17, roughly, that exceeded the $10,000 limit, out of how many total?
I mean, total transactions, there's thousands of the department.
Forget it.
But
okay.
it is estimated, I did not mention, that this would reduce how many times you have me coming here by about 70%.
Okay, all right.
I think it's appropriate regarding the nature of the business, and I still read the payables every week, so.
Bill?
I agree completely. I read the tables and I see what's being spent and requested, so no problem at all.
Okay, then. Do we have a motion?
I move,
Go ahead.
well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we do.
can be, but I move that we approve the transaction limit increase for solid waste.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye, and the motion is carried to increase the limit, excuse me, the 930, to exceed the 930 limit for solid waste at $20,000. Okay, done. Item number 2, transition plan request, also solid waste. And go right ahead, JP.
Again, John Phillips for the record. Recently, Lorene Chaffin, our current solid waste business and finance manager, has indicated that she plans to leave the solid waste department and move out of the area, with her last day being October the 22nd, 2021.
Okay.
I recommend Angela Ryman to be Lorene's replacement for the business and finance manager position. Angela has worked very closely with Lorene for the last 5 years and has done a great job for the department. Angela possesses all of the necessary education and experience to fill this position. So as the director of the department, I recommend and request the following as a transition plan. Effective August the 15th, 2021, Kootenai County Solid Waste would promote Angela to the position of the business and finance manager. This would create a dual position for the transition period of pay period 18 through 22. Once the promotion of Angela is approved by the BOCC, we would hire for her open accounts receivable specialist position. The Solid Waste Department already has an experienced candidate that has been a good employee and who can fill this role. This employee has already assisted Angela with some of the AR duties and fits well with the team. The Solid Waste Department would like to promote Wendy Steen to the position of accounts receivable specialist at the same time, August the 15th, 2021. This would allow Angela to train Wendy for the accounts receivable position and allow Lorene to train Angela for the business and finance position. This would hopefully provide a seamless transition October 22nd at the time that Lorene leaves her position. Please note, I do want to mention that Lorene has offered to be available on call in her position beyond her planned last day in the office if she was allowed to use vacation time and stay on the books. However, at this time, I do not think this is necessary. But we could reevaluate this decision after 2 months of Angela job shadowing Lorene, and at that time, I would have a better understanding if I needed to come to the board to ask for that.
Okay.
With that, concludes my transition plan.
Okay. Questions for JP?
So I do have a question. It's kind of a Sylvia and Dina combination. Is it easier to give both of these positions higher duty pay while they're training instead of making the whole, having two people in the same spot kind of thing? I'm fine with the transition plan as outlined, but if that makes it easier behind the scenes and it doesn't.
It may. We'd have to create a position number to put Angela into and then retire that number once she moved into Lorene's position. So
Okay.
it would be
Somewhat easier.
It's still the amount of this. It's probably the same processing for payroll. It would just be a little less for me. It doesn't matter to me either way.
If I may, the only difference that may pose to the department is that if Wendy Steen is currently in the role of solid waste technician, or what used to be called a spotter. And so currently I have 2 spotter positions open, and there's likely a third coming because of another promotion that will likely occur in a couple months. So the only thing this would change would be the ability for me to go ahead and hire another solid waste technician, because Wendy would still occupy that role even though she moved up and was the accounts receivable. So,
Yeah, come on, Dina.
I'm just thinking it would be cleaner to create a position
Okay,
and just move everybody over.
perfect. Then that's totally fine. Okay.
Okay, makes sense. Bill, any questions?
I have no questions. I think JP got a very well thought out plan.
I was just going to say the same thing. Well done. Okay, motion?
All right, I move that we approve the transition plan request as outlined by Solid Waste.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Thank you, JP. Item number 3, building inspector plans examiner pay increases, and I guess there are 2. Community development, and I'm going to ask Director David Callahan to come. Go ahead, David.
Good morning, Commissioners. We are seeking salary increases for 2 of our most senior and certified building inspectors, because the way our current system works, once they have been here for a few years, they fall behind the pay scales of newer people that have less certifications and less experience. And so it creates this oddness where we're actually encouraging our most senior people to look for other jobs. By way of quick example, I can say in the nearly 8 years I've been here, there's been 6 people besides me that are still with me out of a staff of 33. That tells you 80% of my department has moved on in less than 8 years. I believe part of it is this sort of thing. And so Christina and I are trying to get ahead of the curve here and ask for increases where we think they are deserved.
Okay.
So Sylvia, is this part of the compression plan that would be looked at?
I'm not sure if we probably did find this in there, but if we could address it this year, that would help us in the long run. And it is pretty obvious looking at the individuals in the positions and the certification levels that they have, that I would support that it happen now versus later, because these individuals, have many more years of experience than the others and are being paid actually less than his recent new hires by a couple dollars an hour.
Okay.
So you're saying that your current staff of inspectors have more certifications than the new hires?
Yes, sir. Well, when you say current, these 2 individuals in particular, Gene and
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yeah. those two.
Yes, have a lot more experience and more certifications.
Fair enough. Questions for David?
Nope.
Bill?
No questions.
Okay.
I move that we approve the building inspector, plans examiner pay increase as outlined to combat the compression.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you, David. Thank you, Christina. Number 4, adjustment to retire agreement, KCSO. Under Sheriff Matos, how are you, Dan?
Push the button. Dan, can you push the button?
Oh, yeah, get the green on. There you go.
I
Go ahead.
need some direction on whether it needs to go to executive session.
You want to start, and then we can go from there. We have Dave here, too, if he needs to.
Or do you?
Well,
I guess I don't know exactly what the need for executive is right now, so
You want to start, and then we can,
yeah, if you would, go ahead and start, and if it looks like you need to get into an area
Okay.
discussing the employee.
So just so you know, Dave, I'm gonna have to make specific reference to a employee by name who retired pursuant to a retirement agreement.
I don't see why, Dan. I don't see why.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
I've
yeah.
read the background information, and so to me, this is
No, that's
just
fine. I just wanna do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so on July 15th of this year, former Captain John Holochek retired, and it's part of the agreement that was struck for him to go ahead and move into retirement was the fact that we would pay 18 months of his COBRA. That was part of the agreement. And he signed a contract indicating as such. However, after he reviewed the contract, after he signed it, he found that that was to be paid monthly, and what he wanted, and I think what he thought, because a prior retirement had been handled similarly, he just wanted it paid in one lump sum into his VIBA account. So it's been gone by legal. Darren changed some language. It basically reflects the same language that that prior captain that retired under. So we're just asking to allow those dollars to be placed into a VIBA account as opposed to being paid monthly. It's budget neutral, and in fact, it probably will save the county money if the insurance rates go up in a year, so.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with this. It's kind of like you had a either or, and
Yep.
the wrong box was checked, and so this just fixes that. So I don't have a problem.
I'm fine with it. Bill?
No problem.
Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the adjustment to the retirement agreement for Captain Holochek.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion's carried. Thank you, Dan.
Commissioners.
Item number 5, wage adjustment for public defender for the legal intern. Our public defender.
Okay.
Ann Taylor, go right ahead.
Sylvia Pratt from HR is going to cover this topic. So during our recent compensation review, as we're looking at fiscal year 22 salaries, it was found that we had the public defender's legal intern being paid less than the minimum of the grade assigned. And some of those things are falling through the cracks because of the system we have, and it's pretty manual. So what we need to do is rectify that, and the employee is currently making $17 per hour. The employee should be placed on a grade 7 at the minimum rate of $18.6016 per hour, and retro it back to April 19th of 21.
Okay, a few months. All right.
Dina, for the retro, is there a pay period associated, or is the date sufficient? Michelle?
Yeah,
that
because
okay?
it's actually her date of hire
Hire.
into the position.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
all right.
I'm fine.
I'm fine with it.
Bill, you okay?
Just fine.
Okay, off we go.
I move that we approve the wage adjustment for the public defender legal intern to bring her up to the minimum grade in grade 7 as outlined, retroactive to April 19th, 2021, her hire date.
I second that, the motion.
Oh, Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye. And the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ann. Item number 6, request for new hire bailiff position for district court for court security. Pete, how are you?
Good morning. Pete Barnes with the bailiff's office. We had requested a new bailiff position. I had received a few emails on the financial part of that, what it would take to get that. And so I guess I'm just here for any questions you may have, or?
Okay, so I'll take a little bit of it. Because we intend to approve, excuse me, an additional bailiff, which you need right now because of the jam-packed court schedule.
Yes.
I recommended that they come forward and get them on board as soon as possible, which you believe it'll take until September to do that.
I believe we can have somebody by the first or second week of September.
Okay. And I just think that to alleviate any kind of pressure from the existing bailiffs is important, and they have the salary savings to cover it.
I'm fine. Bill?
I'm fine.
Motion.
Okay, I move that we approve the request to hire the new bailiff position.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Thank you, Pete.
All right, thank you.
Item 7, initial classification results for Resource Management Office, RMO, for grants manager and grants technician. Kim, will you handle this?
Yes, I will. So we were at the last personnel meeting. You gave approval for both positions, but we had to go through the grading process. So our estimates were correct. We put them through all 3 portions of the process. The grants manager would be a grade 10. The grants technician would be a grade 8. And the packet is in your packet there. Now, RMO will do some condensing of the manager position to fit our new format, because we utilized the original one that they put out in 2017. So it's not going to change any of the content. It won't change any of the requirements. It's just going to boil it down a little bit. So it will be a smaller format once we actually put it out on KC.gov.
And these are the positions that we addressed last week?
The ARPA grant
Yeah,
funded positions.
exactly. Okay.
Correct, yes.
Yep.
So it's to notify you of the classification.
Classification.
And then the next item would be to ask for your approval for the position
For the-
grades.
Okay. Questions?
I'm fine.
Bill?
No questions.
Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the initial classification results for the Resource Management Office grants manager and grants technician positions.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, and the motion's carried. I'm looking at item 8. That's a little different, isn't it? Or is
Yes.
it?
Yep. So we approve the classification. Now we're
Cation.
going to adopt.
Oh, okay, okay.
I know, it's
Fair enough. Okay,
it's
so
better than waiting a week is what we used to
Yeah.
do.
It's
Good.
it's only because it's a board department. If it was another elected, we would just bring it forward to ask
Oh,
for your
okay, I see where you're going. Okay.
approval of adopting.
So item 8, which is really a follow-on to item 7, is the adoption of the initial classification results for the Resource Management Office for the positions just classified of grants manager and grants technician.
Yep, I'm fine with
So
that.
that's it. So you're fine. Bill, okay?
Okay.
I move that we approve the adoption of, or that we adopt the initial classification results for the grants manager and grants technician with Resource Management Office.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye?
And I'll,
Motion, yeah, go right ahead.
and I'll just add that these are both ARPA grant-funded positions.
That is correct. Okay. So that's it. So that motion is passed. Final item, health plan eligibility, HR. Sylvia, please.
Yes, for our medical, dental, and vision plans for our regular full-time employees, currently they become eligible to enroll in health insurance on the first of the month following 60 calendar days of employment. So based on an employee's start date, this could equate to almost 90 days of having to wait for their insurance benefits to be effective. So the only way it's truly 60 days is if you're hired the first of the month. And that's pretty rare because we do orientation every week and we hire them at that time. So we are proposing to change the eligibility period to the first of the month following date of hire. So if an individual was hired July 22nd, they would have benefits August 1st. This would align us with how we handle our elected officials, so this would just, be consistent with our other benefit offerings to our electeds. So basically, this is a great recruiting strategy. We're hearing people are struggling, do I have to take COBRA and how many months do I have to take COBRA at my other employer? It's just really cumbersome, and I've talked to Alliant about it, and they said it could be a smooth transition. We'd make it effective January 1st because we have to renew our contract and do all of that January 1st. And in speaking with Dina in the auditor's office, we have their support related to this. So my recommendation is that we move forward with the January 1st change in eligibility for our regular full-time employees for health, dental, and vision plans.
So 2 questions. One, do we have any kind of financial impact idea?
Yes. Do you want to talk about it?
So looking at what the county pays right now per year, I think it's $13,131 per year. If you break that down by month and then add in what our increase is for 2022, which would start on January 1st, it's potentially $1,126 per hire if the person were to opt in for insurance. So that would be your increase by employee, by hire.
Okay. So can we consider that a recruitment bonus?
In essence, how many people just out of curiosity, how many people have we hired so far this year, or
This
whatever's
year,
easiest for you, however you want?
Yes, Kim was wonderful and did some projections and looked at where we're at in terms of hires. So for calendar year 2020, we hired about 153 full-time FTEs, but the total amount with temps and seasonal was about 194. So currently, we are at a total with seasonal and temps, 85, but 58 of them are eligible for regular full-time work. So we estimate about 116 hires in 2021 that are regular full-time. So if you took that amount, we're projecting up to about $130,000 impact on this for about 116 people, but not all 116 people take our benefits. So we'd say maybe 90% of them would. That would be about $117,000 impact. Talking with Dina and looking at budget pro forma reports, last year we didn't spend all of our Fund 14 budgeted dollars for this, and it looks like we're not going to this year based on the projections through the budget pro forma.
Plus, we have departures.
Yes, and our fund balance looked good, according to
Our Fund
Dina.
14 fund balance has accumulated up to about $2 million. So we could absorb the cost, and it would be a good enticement to new hires.
That's true.
But the accrual of sick and vacation still don't start until,
6 starts right away. With our vacation leave, they have to be here 6 months, and then they get 40 hours in the bank.
Gotcha.
And I probably will be coming back to you in the future to ask for that to be reduced, or look at our industry and how they're doing things, because I haven't seen that kind of a waiting period for benefits in the my past work
Sure.
experience, so,
Okay, and maybe that can be part of what Ameribend looks at.
yes,
So,
yes.
okay.
Okay. Bill, any questions?
No, it sounds like a good, into our hiring package.
Okay, then. Motion?
I move that we approve the health plan eligibility change effective January of '22, which allows new hires to gain coverage from our medical benefits the first day of the following month of their hire.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios,
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you. So that concludes our action items. Public comment? Hearing none, I have 11:25, meeting adjourned. Thank you.